In good health, we haven't found a cure for diabetes yet, but research has made the lives of people living with the disease so much better.
Yeah, Dr. Frank McGeorge is here with just one of the ways diabetes research dollars really are making a big difference. Doc?
Well, when people contribute to the fight against diabetes by participating in a JDRF walk, for example, the way they're helping may not seem so obvious. So today, I actually went out to talk with people who have seen research move directly from your efforts through the lab to actually changing the lives of real people. Bob Gilmore of Brooklyn, Michigan remembers when he was first diagnosed with type 1 diabetes.
It was 1967, and I was probably about 22 years old.
At the time, his doctor laid out a grim future.
He said, you'll probably have circulation problems, you'll probably have nerve problems. There's a good chance because of circulation that you'll lose a leg or a foot, or both of them.
But he saw hope.
50 years ago I was told I'd be blind, and I'm 70 years old now and I'm not. Early on I realized the benefit of research.
Like the work that Dr. Radhika Papusui, a University of Michigan diabetes specialist, does.
Kidney disease is a very important chronic complication of diabetes.
Short of finding a cure, managing this major complication remains essential, and it's just one of the projects she's working on. Early research found elevated uric acid levels, common in gout, predisposed diabetics to developing kidney failure.
This observation was the initial trigger for designing an initial pilot study that was funded by the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation.
This JDRF funding has allowed theory to translate into studies on actual patients.
Translation into human research is the most rewarding, because then we can really see whether what we initially saw in animal or cell culture truly applies to human.
The fundamental link that ties it all together is the research.
Now, you can learn more about this study on the health page at clickondetroit.com. There's also information about this Sunday's JDRF walks in Warren and Dexter, and a link to donate if you cannot make it out there in person.
What's important to point out is that a lot of people think when you talk about research that they're looking for a cure, right, but this kind of research is just as important.
Oh yeah, managing the complications is critical. You got to remember, this affects not just type 1 diabetics, but type 2 diabetics, and a lot of the complications are the same: nerve damage, blindness, amputations, kidney failure. These are all severe things that impair a person's life to a point that really it makes it very difficult for them to go on. So, managing the complications is just as important as finding a cure in most of the situations. And until we find a cure, or even once we find a cure, there are still going to be a lot of people with the complications.
And we just saw a person who has the kind of quality of life, and he's, 70 years old, and he's been living with diabetes all this time.
He's been living for 50 years, and he has witnessed research change the course of his disease, and it's an absolutely wonderful thing to behold.
And hopefully he's not alone.
Oh no, hopefully not.
Okay, thank you, Doc.
Thanks, Doc.